In the previous video, we started talking about subqueries and we focused on that video on a single value subquery. Now, the single value subquery is going to return a single value, and we'll use that value in our filtration as a base for the outer query. Now, in this video, we will focus on a multiple row subquery. So this type of subquery will return multiple values. And for multiple values, we'll have to use one of these operators. So we'll use either the AND operator or the ANY operator or the ALL operator. Now these operators will allow us to handle complete lists, not single values. Let's see how these operators work first, and then we'll see some examples on them. Now if we talk about the AND operator, let's say I say where x is in 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Now if x turns out to be 1, it will be returned. If x turns out to be 2, it will not be returned. So the basic idea is that x has to be available or present in this list to be returned. Otherwise, we'll just ignore it. Now for the ANY operator, however, it is going to have a list. I mean, all of those operators will deal with lists, but we will say where x is larger than any element of the list. So if x is 1, then 1 is not larger than any one of those elements, so it will not be returned. Now if I say x is 2, and I'm saying larger than any, so I'll check these individually. If the condition applies on even a single one of them, then I'll return it. So 2 is larger than 1, so it will be returned. If I say 7, for example, it's larger than 1, larger than 3, larger than 4, larger than 5, larger than 6. So I have to be larger than only one of the list to make this condition true. And then I will return the value. So again, the basic idea of the ANY operator is if the condition applies to even a single element in the list, it will be returned. Now finally, the ALL operator, however, if I say where x is larger than all, and then I provide a list. Now this is going to say if x is larger than this, this, and this. So it has to be larger than every single thing. So x is 1, not going to be returned. X is 9, however, it's larger than every single item in the list, so it will be returned. So again, the basic idea is the condition has to apply on every single element on the list to be returned. And this table summarizes how the operators work with all and any. So if I say larger than all, it has to be the highest number to be returned, or larger than the highest number or the highest element in the list that is provided by the subquery. Similarly, if it's less than all, it has to be less than the lowest value returned by the subquery. If I say less than any, so it has to be less than just the highest value returned by the subquery, because if it's less than the highest value, then it for sure is less than any value. If I say larger than any, it has to be more than the lowest value returned by the subquery. And if I say equal to any, then it has to be equal to a single value that is in the result set that I get from my subquery. So let me go and try some of those. So if I say list the titles of all books that are purchased in the same order as the book with a certain ISBN. So let me get the ISBNs of my books, and then I'll pick one of those ISBNs, and then we will write our query. So select star from books. So the reason I'm doing this is I don't memorize the ISBN, so I'll just copy one of them. So let me copy, let's say this one. Okay. Now I need to write my query. So I need to get the order IDs in which this book was ordered. So I'll say select order ID from, so I'll get the order IDs from the order items where ISBN is equal to whatever ISBN I just copied. Okay, now these are the orders that have this book in them. And my question is asking me to get all the books that are in the same order as this book. So what I will do is I will surround this with parentheses, and then I will go ahead and write my outer query. So I'll say select. Now I can go ahead and say title, but I don't want the titles to be repeated, so I'll say distinct title from books, remember, or from orders, and I will join order items using order ID. Remember, I have to join multiple tables because the information is not present in only one table. And I will join it with books using ISBN. And I will say if the order ID matches any one of those, then give me that book. So I'll say where order ID is equal to any one in this list. And if I run this, I get those books. Now, notice that I have the book itself, which is this one. So this book is the one with this ISBN. Okay, so if I just include ISBN here, you will see that actually I'm including the same book as well. So the ISBN is 040 and then there's 733. So this is it. How can I get this out of my query? I can just go ahead and say and ISBN is not equal to this ISBN. And this is going to give me only the books that are included in the order with this book, excluding this book.